How you doing?
I'm doing. Should I look at you or the camera?
Okay, so when you talk and answer all the questions, could you do that camera? Because that's the audience.
I am well, audience. I'm doing it.
Me.
Callbacks.
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 Hey, it's callbacks.
Callbacks.
Callbacks? We did it. There we go. That was fun. I don't know what saying, but that was fun.
My name is Annalise and I'm playing Tess. She definitely wants to be a part of something and wants to create something that everyone feels involved and welcome. She's a people pleaser a little bit.
Oh, hello. My name is Alexa Fontecha and I'm playing Nikki, the best friend of Tess. So she's Tess's best friend and she came to help her. Like, she comes in to help her with the movie, but she's not fully into it. She's not as artsy and like as outgoing necessarily as everyone else who's coming in. There's a lot of loud energy coming through the room and she's kind of not for it, but she is here to help her best friend at the end of the day.
My name is Jomuel Ortiz. I played Jackson Turner in the short film Callbacks. So Jackson is he's a good actor, I guess you can say. Just a heartthrob ladies' man, and to be honest, sort of a douchebag.
How did you get
And, oh, let me turn that off. Do. My name is Rayna Menz and I play Sarah. She's kind of the villain of the whole short film, so she's fun. She's the mean girl from high school that kind of never grew out of it, in my opinion. She's dating the very popular and talented Jackson Turner, and she's just very jealous, mean kind of gal, so.
Okay, hey, my name is MJ Ortega. I play Craig Simmons, the actor, in the film Callbacks. Craig, Craig, so he's a seasoned actor. And a lot of times seasoned actors, they get in their head to where they don't mean to sound or feel holier than and better than everyone else, but they come off that way. And they come off very what's the word? They come off very uppity. And so that's Craig. Craig, every time he walks in the room, everyone knows he's there. He introduces himself as Craig Simmons, the actor, so there's no confusion. And yeah, he means well. He just has his chin up and chest out the whole time.
My name is Courtni Wisniewski and I play Kristen. Kristen is awkward, goofy, lighthearted, and friendly. She believes in herself, but she does need a little assistance.
How did you get involved?
My name is Kyle Fleming and I play the character of Ethan. Ethan is someone who has never been to an audition before, so he's a little nervous and he knows the director, so he's trying to help out, but he's a little nervous.
I'm Brian and I play Mark. He is one lazy bastard who stays on his phone all the time and thinks he's amazing.
How did you get involved?
Hi, I'm Sean Wist. I am the writer and director of Callbacks. Well, I'd say throughout 2020, it's been a rough year for artists. And I think everyone, even people who aren't into arts, they're kind of looking towards the arts to find a creative outlet because, you know, there's nothing else you can really do. It's not really that safe to go outside. So I kind of wanted to write something and have fun with it that was about an artist trying to explore that, you know, and trying to feel good about exploring that. Even if you're not great at something, just the fact that you're making the attempt means something.
You wouldn't believe it. So I I was visiting an old friend, Lauren Cologne. I was visiting him at his house, and we just chit-chatting. It wasn't anything crazy. And he was like, hey, I got a film going on. Do you want to audition for it? I was like, oh, okay, I'm not doing anything. He's like, actually, the audition's tonight. I was like, oh, okay, I'll be here. So I came. As soon as I walked in the door, they handed me the script. They said, yeah, follow us in this room. And I read Craig. And then a couple of weeks later, I think I got the part. But like, there was no preparation. In the script, it says Craig Simmons. Oh my God, what's the character's name?
Craig Simmons?
Craig Simmons. I forgot his inspiration, but the guy from Star Trek.
Which one? William Shatner?
William Shatner. Thank you. So I see on the script, it says inspiration for this character, William Shatner, and I was like, that's all I had to go off of. I was like, okay, here we go. So I read, and it was more like a Doc Brown character. It was more like, yeah! So, but he loved it, and now here I am.
Got involved with callbacks. A friend told me to, hey, audition for this short film. It was gonna be fun. It was gonna be a good environment, and I haven't done a short film in a while, so I was like, hey, why not? All right.
I met Sean like 2 years ago, and I just moved back to Orlando, so he asked if I could audition, and I did, and he liked what I did, so I got the part. And I said yes.
I know the director Sean from Universal, working at our venue and attractions. He told me out of nowhere that he's writing a movie, and he wrote a character specifically for me. So here we are.
Basically, I worked at Halloween Horror Nights with Sean, and we've just been friends and connected ever since. He held auditions, and he held them very wonderfully and safely, so we could all wear our masks and be able to audition and still feel safe. And yeah, I mean, I'm just lucky to be a part of this.
I met Sean through Universal and was going to do Halloween Horror Nights this year. Obviously, because of COVID, that didn't work out quite as we planned. So he said anyone who wants to get involved with this film, just come out and audition. So I decided to do that.
I think I remember seeing Sean post about it and then expressing interest, being like, this is definitely something I'd be interested in. Let me know. And then when auditions came up, I made sure I was available to audition.
Sean came to me with the idea that he wanted to make a movie, and originally it was going to be something else, but now it evolved into this, and I auditioned, and here we are.
The actors won't stop singing. It's always really interesting. The script in your head is never, how it turns out when you're on set. On set, you have a lot of challenges that you don't think about when you're writing, like, oh, the lighting, the sound, this actor, that, or the placement, There's like a million things that happen throughout the day on a set that you just kind of roll with and hope that it's as good or sometimes better than what you had in your head.
Biggest challenge is that it's nothing like me. And that's not any, like, I don't know. My character specifically, when you get to understand the character, it's not a 20-something-year-old black guy. It's more probably in his late 40s. That's what the character feels like, and he definitely feels like a white guy. So for me to be doing this, it's so much fun because I have no doing. So every take, we're doing something new, and it's all fresh to me. And as long as the director likes it, as long as Sean likes it, then we're rolling with it, and we're having a great time.
Probably the fact that I can't laugh as much as I want to, because she doesn't understand all of this big over-the-top energy and personalities that are coming into the audition room. And if it was me in that room watching these, I'd be dying laughing, but I have to be kind of judgy.
Being mean, I'm not a mean person, and I mean, the lead actress, Annalise, that plays Tess, is wonderful, and I feel bad screaming at her and calling her a loser and all these things, so I don't like that, but it's still a great role.
Separating myself from Tess and really making her stand out and not putting too much of myself into the character.
Oh, I guess stepping outside of my comfort zone to be weird and awkward and dumb in front of other people. But it's not that bad because actors are all kind of weird, so it's welcomed.
Biggest challenge, biggest challenge of Jackson Turner is probably just the memorization of the lines itself. There's a lot of dreaming stages of where, not giving up anything, but there's just dream states where I have a different accent and different wordplay, I guess you can say. So that's definitely a challenge.
The biggest challenge is not very big because I'm nervous all the time. So I just pretend to be me.
Oh man, biggest challenge? Probably trying not to kill yourself. Honestly, it's a big workload. You need help. You need a right-hand man, assistant director, or producer, which my buddy Lauren does wonderfully. Just somebody there to back you up. And it's kind of hard because me personally, I like to take control of the situation. You know, I like to be behind the camera. I like to make sure where the sound is at, and I can see everything. And I know I should probably dictate a little bit more and kind of trust others to do those other jobs. But on low budget film, you know, the most reliable person is yourself, because you know you're going to be there on set, you know, all day, every day. So you kind of inadvertently like just take up all those extra tasks, you know. So that's a little rough.
It's about friendship. It's about just loving one another and just being there for each other, and I think that's what we all need right now.
The comedy, really. There's like, you have to pay close attention because every couple of lines or so, there's something gut-busting and really hilarious in this script. So I think that's what will surprise people about this film. Oh, sorry, what's the second question?
What will draw people?
What will draw people? Yeah. And I think just the humor, like I was saying, it's not forced. It's not, I feel like I should be laughing. It's all natural, the humor in this film. And so I feel like that's what will be drawing people back and bringing people to watch this movie. Just how naturally funny it is without having to work too hard.
Surprise, I think, is how relatable it is. I think Sean, the director and writer, did like actually a really good job of taking what's happening right now. He doesn't mention COVID and the pandemic and everything, but it's about artists not having that comfort job that they get to have every year, and a job in general, really. So the fact that this movie is about bringing people together when something they love so much has been taken away, where in real life that is being given to those people going through that exact same thing, I think that's something that will surprise and also kind of comfort people.
Definitely just the chemistry between everyone. Honestly, the chemistry between the cast is phenomenal. Everybody loves one another. Everybody enjoys talking to one another behind the scenes. So you really see that connection when you actually watch the film, which is really good.
I think people are going to be surprised at how fun it is. Like, it's just a lot of fun, and people are gonna be drawn to it just because it's cute. It's a fun little movie.
Let's see, what is gonna draw people? I think this is a perfect time for what I call cinematic comfort food. You know, it's kind of that feel-good thing where you just sit down and watch it, and it's like a warm hug almost. And I think Callbacks, it's first and foremost really funny. You know, it's super funny and ridiculous, but it's also grounded. You know, there's something genuine in there to draw people in, and I think there's a lot of people that can identify with our protagonist, Tess, and what she's trying to do, and just, you know, create something. As she puts it, create something that'll last. And I think we all kind of want to leave a little bit of a legacy and kind of have some friends that'll help us support us in that. So I'm hoping the audience connects with that. My brain was the inspiration. Thank you. You know, some people feel that writers, there's a little piece of them in every character they create. I don't necessarily agree with that, but with the two main characters of this story, Tess and Nikki, that's very much me. You know, Tess is like a little naive, but she's so passionate about what she's doing. Even if she doesn't know exactly what she's doing, she's so just excited to do it. And Nikki, on the other hand, she's a little more, calm and collected, but she still has a really big heart. And I think that's kind of two facets of myself that I just kind of split into two, and gave it to them. So it's, they say the writer crafts their ideal world, and I like to write stories where I want to spend time with the characters, and I guess the characters end up being my friends a lot of the time because I cast a lot of my friends. So in auditions, seeing them work together is amazing because they bring these characters to life in ways that I never even saw in my head when I was writing it. And most of the time they make the characters even better. And on set we'll just add more and more and more, not because the story necessarily needs it, but because they're just so good at it and they bring it to life, and that's awesome.
It could be either yours or anybody's.
It was his penis. It was his penis. That's what it was.
My mind goes immediately to, with your penis?
I would have to say my favorite line is actually one of my character's own lines where I yell at Tess about loving bread. And I just say, yes, Tess, I would love bread. Because in real life I like bread too.
Favorite line of the film is gross.
Yeah, bitch. Or what's it called? Captain Limbs? Duke of Limbs. Duke of Limbs.
My favorite line in the movie. Does it have to be mine?
It could be anything.
It's not even my line. My favorite line in the movie is when Kyle, his character, that's not his character's name, but anyway, Kyle the actor. Ethan, thank you. Ethan says, yeah, bitch, but like so softly, so like timidly, but he stands up with authority, and it's genius. Every time he says the line, I die every time.
Favorite line in the movie? I think I'll just set it. There's a lot of funny lines in the movie, a lot of ridiculous lines, a lot of dick jokes. But there is a small poignant moment between Tess and Nikki. And of course, Tess feels like what she's doing is like all in vain. It's not worth it. And she's, spent so many hours and days, leading up to this moment. It just feels like garbage. And she says she wants to make something that'll last. And Nikki kind of comes in and reminds her, like, hey, I'm your best friend. I'm here for you. This is going to last. And it's kind of a cheesy Hallmark moment, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of a softie. So for me, that's kind of like the line that sums up the story for me. It reminds me of like why I do make movies or anything like that or help anyone else out. It's because, all of my friends who are amazingly talented, it's leaving behind a kind of legacy. It makes us feel good to celebrate performance art.
Probably MJ. I think that's going to be a landslide, to be honest. MJ is really, really funny. I've known him for years. And he's definitely a character outside of Craig Simmons.
Kyle. Oh God. I think all of us have like our own sense of comedy, but it's probably Kyle.
Kyle.
I heard everyone's been saying Kyle, but it's a tie between Kyle and MJ.
Funniest person, Kyle, hands down, easy. I don't know how he does it, but Kyle is just so fucking funny, bro. I think his thing is like, he's so dry. And so he'll have these little puns, jokes, whatever have you. And then, just like this, he'll look back at you like he didn't just say something hilarious. And then you're supposed to be calm? No, that's what makes it even funnier. So Kyle, his timing, his wittiness, his personality, he's a great guy.
Ooh. MJ.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
He's just loud. And he's all over the place, which is fun.
Me. That's a tough one. There's two. I always list them as my funniest friends. Kyle Fleming, of course, is amazing. He's got a very sharp wit. He's very quick, and he loves to inject that into any character. And like, you know, I wouldn't even have to write a funny character for him. He would come up with one. But fortunately, it was kind of like this funny character and this really funny guy meeting together, and they were great. And this other guy, friend of mine, Brian, he's also insanely funny. And I gave him like a bit role, but he kind of took it and ran with it. He is a very talented photographer in real life, but he also plays a photographer in the short film. And except in here, he's more lackadaisical. He doesn't seem to care. But there's still like little odds and ends, like little bits where he has a line here or a look there, and it like totally steals the show. Absolutely. So they're both great.
My favorite scene. Can I say it? Okay, my favorite scene is mine. My character gets electrocuted in the genitals. How do you act that out? I figured it out, and every time we shoot it, it's pretty funny.
Probably one of my own, because it's just weird. Probably my sexy scene.
We haven't shot it yet, but it's a really beautiful friendship scene.
Oh, okay. My favorite part of a scene is when MJ's character, Craig Simmons, is kind of trying to be intimidating to Jackson Turner. You'll have to see it to know what I mean.
Probably when Ethan yells, "Yeah, bitch," at me in the fight. That's my favorite part. So.
So my fight scene with Craig, I think, is the funniest thing, just because yeah, I don't think anybody would start a fight that way in a party, but I wish somebody would, because it would be hilarious.
I recorded on my phone when MJ was doing his line about Duke of Limbs over and over. I have like 7 minutes of him just trying to finish that scene. I think that's literally my favorite scene.
Well, you know, when it comes to callbacks, each movie I make, I want it to be a little better and a little different from what I made before, and I hope I get a little better. And in callbacks, I think this is one of the larger ensembles I've worked with. Usually I limit the actors, because obviously the less actors you have to work with, the easier it is to shoot. But this time I tried to open it up as much as I can. You know, we have, you know, several main characters, a good group, and I was kind of nervous about like inviting a group on set. It's like, would they get along? Would the story kind of just fumble around and not really congeal, so to speak? But, you know, I found it's kind of the opposite. It's because I trusted them. They do work well together, and it just lifts the material up, because they're all these talented people, and they're all good at so many things, including acting in this. And I think in terms of anything else I've done, that makes callbacks one of the strongest pieces I've ever done. As far as the characters or the story, everything is elevated because of that ensemble. Who in the film is most like their character? Ooh, that's a tough question. You know, I gotta, I guess, throw Rayna Menz under the bus a little bit. Now, she plays Sarah, who's kind of like she can be a little cold, you know. She's very loud, somewhat obnoxious. But, you know, in what I told Rayna as we were kind of acting out this character, I told her, I'm like, you know, in my head, you can't blame Sarah. She's like a force of nature. She's like a hurricane, you know. It's your fault if you don't get out of the way, right? And that's how I always saw the character. And that's kind of how I perceive Rayna too, because she's just like, she's this big personality. She's super sweet, but she will walk all over anybody if they deserve it, believe you me. So I think they're kind of close in some way. carefully. Thank you. No, the auditions were a lot of fun. I love auditioning because that's the first time you get to see like your words on paper come to life. So what we did is I do closed auditions. So I basically handpick a lot of performers and friends that I know who are interested, and we get together in groups. And basically what we try to do is pair everyone up. And Biscuits, I forgot the director's name, who worked on 500 Days of Summer and Amazing Spider-Man movies. But basically he casts in pairs too, and I always like to pair people up just to make sure they have chemistry together, but also because they work well off one another. So it was really important to me that, for example, you know, the leads, Tess and Nikki, Annalise and Alexa, that they got along, they had chemistry. And you'll notice there's a lot of pairings in this movie. There's Tess and Nikki, there's the heartthrob, you know, Jackson Turner and Sarah, his girlfriends. And then of course there's also Ethan, who's nervous to audition, and the woman he meets at the audition, Kristen. And I think that's just kind of my instinct of how I operate. You know, I like to buddy up with people whenever it comes to doing a job, I guess. You know, it's just easier to share the load, so to speak.
I think someone else spun already.
No.
No one spun?
Joel did, though, kind of.
Callbacks.
Should we do that again?
Okay. Well, I'm getting tangled. Callbacks.
Callbacks. Callbacks. Callbacks. Callbacks. Callbacks.
Perfect.
Oh god.
Callbacks.
Callbacks.
Callbacks. Hey, it's callbacks. Callbacks. Callbacks.
You good?
We did it. There we go.
Callbacks. 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 Callbacks.
And you good?
Cool.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Callbacks. 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 Callbacks.
And you're done.
Cool.
Thank you. We'll see. Was that hard?
A little bit.
Really?
Diet Club Callbacks in theaters November 21st, 2021. Don't know the release date.
And you're good.
Sweet. Okay. Get this shit off. How do you get this shit off? How do you get it? I'm scared.
Beautiful.
I'm getting a phone call.
Callbacks, hey! You told me to do it my own way. Callbacks. Callbacks.
And you're done. You're good.
I apologize for everything. Why is this?
There you go. Perfect.
Thanks, man.
Callbacks. 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 Callbacks.
That was specified. Yeah.
Perfect.
Callbacks. 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 Callbacks.
And you're good. Perfect.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir. That was fun.
The lighting here for me. I'm like blown away.
You know how to set up some lights.